Wo, me da fam san wa kwa ba biem edoba aye Big Ben eso. Ya na ensan nsem esisi social media na so. De wate de wonte ebia na wate nsem bi nanso unyam nchirim. Ha no mo de enyabre, ni ajebre, ni asebre, ase adaje. Ni pensemu de amount. Se de be ya wo nso behu de ekoso social media no so na nso wanya bi de abobro.
Orofo mo ankasa mani tua nsensem a ekoso ewo eye Kofi Adoma wanwani nani hu nsensem se okoye Dormaahene meche na osagefo adwemambadu ni program ewo Doma nanso fofie antwata na adwale abamo obi ekotutu ema ekokan nani akwakoye deja ewo omakonkron Ghana se obi a eka bi na eno ana eye na adwemambadu the second meche Dormaahene eba abonten ebebe kasa na oka se sa ensem na ekoso omakonkron Ghana na se sa asem na eto eye Kofi Adoma wanwani ono de wogiri se eye propaganda ana enipa bi mu eye sa adanse enipa bi mu aye sa adene a okaka sa ya ma empo kokasa ma ekotia ya nkasa ya de ni na do tebra we krewe ngoma so eye otumfo osetutu the second na eno ana ya de ni na Megra ono so tena ase din no se da bi sa ensensem na ekoso no se ono so amfo na no antumu bia na se wakosa cap manenso wa anwa so na wadi ensem kakra atu dwa na ono so ni nchimu anso ono so ni nimdie kakra wo ede fasa ensem we hu ono so ede tu dwa
Abuziam ye sure say watiti bi.
Na mentia tutu.
Last week na Dormaahene back kan nsem a efa bra Kofi hu.
Ye ba kan nyina nya nokre. Enu time says senka bi.
Some of nsem no be kan very distasteful commenter enye senke firi obi oda domanim anum bada.
Ya bia abunofo be ya bibi eni monya beba ho no. Ne ba bibi ya be den. Abata ho.
Ne nsem ba kon kan se bibia bra Kofi go through no enye nokre ni nyina ye propaganda.
Propaganda. Ne ba yo.
You see, this is very disheartening to listen to, especially coming from a bit like Dormaahene, with all things considered. Because if any black Kofi go through Nina propaganda there, none a whole lot of people are very smart, has to come together to make this propaganda not actually happen.
Propaganda.
One of those people bear black Kofi Nankasa, and so I propaganda agenda ye ba beseti no e se meti asese e be shutu mi wo manim I ba affect my life till I die. Second person be ba be bra Kofi enam se na na bene turuba oni hwe de na bra boye nti e so tim convince you no ani kunu se da bi propaganda bi ba be koso nti no no kɔ na ye shutu wo wanim wote ase wanwene ne mma ho wanwene se wo ye maame wanwene se wo ye yere wanwene se bra Kofi fira busuam nti na yesa na abene turuba so no so te ase sa na fe de ko shutu ni kunu wananim because say ye de ba be sete propaganda
propaganda ye ba kan nyina nya nokre
obviously me so meka propaganda ne ho because me ni hwe de me time ye na mpese me waste me am time ne wo a wo hwe me videos wo so wo time nti no ese me nyanto boase na mbe kyerem say propaganda ni besi no na me so me wo ho se ne be ya mba be kyerem a kyerɛ se ne course ena nye ya me ensan ko a na Dormaahene so ka ho ɔdo so otumfu achinchim na dwene te se kashire ena afa de waka kyerɛ ne se me pese me ya ade bi nti na se wo no wo ni Kofi Adoma nya conversation se ne be ya Kofi Adoma be ba Doma na afa de festival abekoso na afa de yeshutu no wananim yeah otumfu is that powerful enye na Dormaahene nko a Ibrahim Mahama kwaku otene obi odi ni sika aboa bra Kofi up to this point bia no sankofo no so ye so otumfu ne omunyina kasa se asem ni siwi a e so omunyina akọ no mu donate sika de ma bra Kofi e free say omunyina nim ne omudi omusika beye
propaganda ye ba kan nyina nya nokre
ena amanfo ambu omudi anya omunko but also amanfo etena se put this whole festival together because without the festival no there won't be any shooting and without any shooting no there won't be any propaganda and wait that is you nana because if says also this whole thing to bra Kofi ne propaganda dia nani nana any die kwan so propaganda no nani also ka ho you actually started it because without who fashion no one would have come there and then no one would have gotten shot in the face and if says otumfo and atena manhia ahyehyɛ sa adwuma wei ama amanfo a makekan nyina dia nani otumfo just so very powerful ankasa o wadwena ye de twere bible ni bi because in this whole propaganda circle no nipa no otumfo no propaganda ni de atia no sa nipa no so ka propaganda ni ho bi. Does that make sense?
Propaganda. Ye ba kan nyina nya nokre.
So to recap no, if say na Dormaahene say ne ato bra Kofi propaganda dia, na ne say na otumfo team dada bra Kofi sam opeso good Dormaahene nanim ase wo odno ankasa na fasha ase. Di bra Kofi nti ase so okọ ho a ye betutu abonani. And then Bra Kofi so tease. And to make this happen, no, Otumfo na nkasa besen areche out no Nasumahene. Se na be ya na Nasumahene no mom na be frɛ Kofi Adoma. Se na be ya Kofi Adoma betumi akɔkɔtwa afahye no. Nti se Bra Kofi kɔ afahye no. Na se atutuo no bɔ na ni wi a. Na watena se na watwen. Bosome ansa na wa managere aba be ye video wa kyerɛ manfo se Bra Kofi kɔ Dormaahene festival no. Abusia ya tutu aboni kunani. Na se Bra Kofi yire yesa video ni wi a. Na ni Otumfo na nkasa. Wasi akwa convince abonofo dedefo na omo from ho bloggers no ya na waba be convince omo so omo mra ma medi Bra Kofi yiratem na so mo di Bra Kofi yiratem do some level bia na ne Megra he baba na waba be kyerɛkyerɛ because afashion for this propaganda to work no mema ono nso a wo hobi na fe de Bra Kofi akwa hospital wo Doma Brekum Accra Dubai enam so obi ani hwi yenti
propaganda. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Na fere ya de ne kokɔ hospital we nyina na asɛm no akwakodu Ibrahim Mahama kwaku aten ni amanfo a ɔma support nyina anim sɛ na be ya ɔmo betim de ɔmo sika over $150,000 de aba because say you know obi anim ne ɛsɛ ɔde ne sika ye. And the biggest of them all to actually make this propaganda happen no sɛ na Otumfo timi dada Dormaahene sɛ ɔnya afahye sɛ na be ya ne maka nyina no ebetimi asisi so pepepe
propaganda. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Tinana Dormaahene, me pa che wani die kwanso a. Still na propaganda. Because if say propaganda, Nani Kofi Adoma is a very powerful person in Ghana, even more powerful than Dormaahene na nkasa. Why am I saying that? Because if this is the whole Ghana, Asantehena do e Ghana nyina, Otumfo ntimi anhwehwem anyobia. Some men konkofa bununi baako a obi anim so ye bununi. Kofi Adoma wanwani na memfa ne nkodoma ma de we nkonkoto no na owi a matim de na set agenda e de agu Dormaahene anim ase we
propaganda. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Because if that is the case, Yanani Kofi Adoma is a very powerful man in Ghana because apparently he is the only one to pull this propaganda off. Now let's take this a step further. Nieti Adona Dormaahene say propaganda and say according to no. Anytime be a bonofo be ya di be nice biano no be the bonne and a negative story about be attach it. Now if they say na cover at the power my so.
Ya be a bonofo be ya bibi and the monya baba ho. Never the bibi abede.
Now this time yes ni say about bontin so Otumfo etugalam say and Otumfo ni manhia ni mpanimfo ho nyina no o matena se ahyehyɛ this agenda we saying say na be ya o me de Bra Kofi asem we propaganda yi be cover Otumfo galam say wo tu ne so.
Number Ghana have BBS Yura Galamsey walk and in America. You want him to see a bit or so one no. Oh, yeah, Galamsey.
Yeah, would let's put aside this ridiculous propaganda angle on our side. Now you break it down in another Dormaahene a kind.
Oh, yeah, Galamsey.
One another Dormaahene and Kasa Yemunu or say Otumfo to Galamsey. Now the fourth estate add the article about HRS. There is a link between that Galamsey no and Manshia. Hence a Otumfo na eye.
Why Galamsey? Never say opportunity. Eh na manfo no. One Ghana ni di ne ba de ba. Nkofo betie. Ne ba yo na ba kan fo no. Adwamba bi otoso mienu. Na ma ni monya na ho de amam. Na na ma kirem June 2nd, 2023. Company bi baba friend Bodukan Holdings. Okoje prospecting licenses. So okoye de. Okoye or prospecting na hiwo gold. Our western region wo be. Na okoje ye no. Ba mo se aso odomase. But the man apply no but the man. But the man no nipa bi ba ya da. Ba guma ba ya da. Ba ya Galamsey. Sa nipa na ba the man no te so me an madu. Am to so me no ba de amam. Oga ho hwe. Ba ya Galamsey na ama Joy FM. The very big 4 first hit. Match ni patron. Concession ya na dia. Concession no, me ba bodi ni no. Bodukan no nipa ya ba dia, nana dua bonsu. Na oto aso Majid man. Say ni patron ni lawyer. Ne ira so ka ho. Julia ama agapa amani. Na che say Kofi ho, na chef yo.
Yeah, now kind from an article at the 4th Estate Post 2 here. Title of that article: Full details: illegal mining spree on Manshia-linked concession. Do you know what Nana Dormaahene conveniently left out of that article? No? Me was same article no ha. Yen kan article no. Article ni yen ko party a na Dormaahene kan no. E wo hefa. Who owns Bodukwan Holding? Incorporation records from the Office of the Registrar of Companies show that Bodukwan Holding is closely linked to Menchia Palace. The company's beneficial owner, Nene Bonsu, serves as a co-director alongside Mujib Rahman Ahmed, a lawyer for Menchia Palace, and Julia Ama Edrapa Amanin, widely known as Lady Julia, the wife of the Asantehena. Those names na mabubono, omo NASU omudinda companies so, omo call registrar of companies hono. Na yen skipun ko baby na Dormaahene amfanka na asem no ho. Baby at the fourth estate reaching out to a man for na omo wo kind of omudinda company no so no. When contacted, Mujib Rahman Ahmed, ono na ye lawyer for Menchia no, denied any involvement in illegal mining. He insisted that Bodukwan Holding had not begun operations at its site near Bibiani, let alone engaged in mining. This was before the Asantehena's recent public remarks about the invasion of illegal miners on the concession. Now, baby, I'm going to this lawyer in here. I say, if anyone is there, we need to deal with them. Mr. Rahman told the Fourth Estate, we have no knowledge of any such activity. If someone is mining in our name, it is wrong. We are not aware of it. This is from the lawyer from Menchia, at least on statement. No. Ehono nana Dormaahene amfanka na asem no because eno no favor some person kan ho. And even before this Fourth Estate article ne kura no, na ono ankasa otumfo aba beka say amanfo bi me to galam say omo kura didi ewuro no ne concession articles no are there. Now here is the crazy part. Timeline eyade ehia, date yade BSc no ehia ankasa. The Fourth Estate article nana Dormaahene edi making a point no. Omo postu sa article no on 6 March 2025. Otumfo no ankasa ba abonten beka say illegal miners edidi ewuro no ne concession mu no. That date no was 14 February 2025. Kofi Adoma nwenwani ye shutu no wonanim no. Eno no happen on 20th December 2024. Ena bra Kofi yire na na abene turuba ne first video ba beye ye ode kira manfo say say na atuni kunu Odoma no. Oye sa video no 18th January 2025.
He was shot in the face.
Inti na Dormaahene see the whole bra Kofi ten propaganda. And yes, and Kasadi nisi, which in this case, ni so tumfu to galam say. And sana de no amade babe propaganda no say you should to black of you and a name, na according to you enya no kura no. And no mo aba be cover the fact so tumfu to galam say so. But how dey there be propaganda ni di kan happen. And sana the crocra oba be ho propaganda dey cover so. And sana no kura mpokuresi. In which word na Sadi always make sense?
Propaganda. Yeah, that can nya no kura.
Nya scary ni say. Nana Dormaahene high court judge. Our judge a manfo nsem based on facts and evidence. But when it comes to this specific case here, according to him, na propaganda. No could be any.
Propaganda. Yeah, that can nya no kura.
Now let's indulge him for a second. Even if said this whole thing according to Dormaahene no, and no create propaganda upon various evidences, videos are hold on in the kika. Even if say no cry based on evidence and facts at hand, no, and say ka word team who say, even if the same point I'm demi angle back and some no insist so at least based on timeline available.
Propaganda. Yeah, that can nya no kura.
Now the reason why I'm doing say na Dormaahene ne mpani for nyam to boase antena say and research this specific story and say one enyo modwuma. Second, dede for na omugu net so according to them omu defended Dormaahene ka Dormaahene asem man no from on the bloggers no. I'm thinking so omumu bi and send this story the man na Dormaahene. Those people no, they have no idea what they are doing. Sankofo no muni mani atem didie. Nti se sankofo we bi send wo hempo te se na Dormaahene bibi na se wo act on it. Se na be ye babontia e bi amanfo be de Asantehena talk. And now say Sembe rise now cover this Kofi Adoma story and apa. And the crazy part to me is Otu Wana Kasakra didn't Semba Bekan yedada. So if there's a balance of Barbecan like it's a new expose type of tenor. You see another Dormaahene by your Barbecan when everything was said and done. Onumum ye dinner them, not to tumfo. This had the day for another Dormaahene dreams or mumu buano. Sankofo na epen enim guase. Sankofo na and epen ahiase. Because none of them knows what they are doing. When it comes to PR work, when it comes to being an assistant to Krana, they Charlie, what are you call the next point you make here? So no Dormaahene on tutu.
Nasawo, but the one here I say, and until the piano, then says Hadia no Papa or the Animguasi Oba. One didn't remember sacrifice, like your to me.
And after he said that to a room full of a handful, any penny for no, you could hear say a man for a bomb in some. A man for being more sorry. And these are the same people almost a black Kofi or this year. But nane, no cre untutu. By that same logic, no, say. So why are you talking about him? By that same logic, no, what Dormaahene so when you newscaster, when you journalist, into the entire working kind galam say article actual man for. By that same logic, no, Nana, when you Asantehena. Ntinye di ntia o kan Asantefo asem. Before I saw about be can say propaganda no. Na medike video I can say that is how or modern say propaganda. But to hear it actually come out from the mouth of Dormaahene no. Eho e na mete sampani info ba o mo say esuno kura e na so potokura e na esuno kura kronkron no. Sa time na mete sa benasi yie pa.
Propaganda. Ye da kan nyina nya no pre.
Asema na kan ne kire say ne bra Kofi kombia no onfa ho ya obi abra Kofi na mu no enya nasem nana kasa mu no aso obi asebe onwi nipa ho ya wo obi fam bia no onke nana kasa mu no ankyere sebe oyo obi a owo ma nana kasa mu no ankyere sebe oyo obi oye papa nana kasa mu no ankyere se oyo obi a sebe betimi adan no nana kasa mu no ankyere se oyo obi a sebi Adoma no na se Kofi Adoma mpo a ye share da to nsafre no no onu mpo na wo kan asem ya fa ne ho a na ne imagine sense nka normal person bi a oba ye bi ofri Dormaahene na any other place bi abaye na nka asem bi se beto na nka ne ye de bra Kofi go through no sa na nka wo so ni wabusia ka mo so be go through and you don't even need to think about it. One of my previous video me talk about guy ba ko na your friend set Aonya accident on the 19th of December 2024. It was the same Dormaahene. After the accident, 3 people were involved. Case is serious. The guy, this set couldn't even sit down for over a month. Mufra guy, na mumisane say, mwa ben akwa no phone call kura e free ni bi. Bra Kofi wa press conference na se kan say contractor ni gusu yi kwan en kan wo dan nti na ope bia obetimi aka na da e be hia to no ekho e na be hu se say to za afini de ehuo ni nyina ya aduane baako. Bra Kofi go through an unimaginable pain and trauma. Na Dormaahene ni mpanifo decide say they would do nothing about it. Bra Kofi ni na busuafo omonko hwe omo ho yade na ohempon meka bibia. No team can say or no tutu. The level of insensitivity to near Bra Kofi come. Your inability to sympathize with Bra Kofi and in a busuafo or even show empathy, if not to Kofi Adoma, at least to be a free bona asematono ewo wu krom ewo wa himfie. Because after all, when I am bona handful, bona House of Chiefs, when I am president, nanka wanya bibia ma wasia, ye bone krono. Abua koko. Wane ne mmakwa didie na se ne mma no baako to amena mu a ne aboa kokko ne beye bi obetimi yi ne ba afiri amena num no obetena ho na waye onko because se ne mma ne dɔɔso nti ne baako ato amena mu a yi no foforo wo ho da bi ne aboa kokko oye no no nti se ye nipa ye ntimi nyɛ sa ma ye ho a how sad is that? And you know the crazy thing, yes bono hema na baako ababe audio bi a or talk about the fact say ni akoso no entwa ye
oka no akofa be kan bunufo nyina so nya bunufo nyina ne be yoye
metie audio no there was one party bi na hema ne talk about the fact say before kra say na Dormaahene ba be kasa no mpanimfo te say na bafo I'm thinking say Dormaahene and mpanimfo binom di kan ne na Dormaahene kasa ye
nya bunufo nyina ne be yoye nso oka no abeka de bi afra bunufo nyina se ye ne ye nanu he na bafo asem de one ne kan ye wantie wo be kasa ne na bafo ba wanim no be ka kire wo se asem no se de akoba yenka ni se wantie be gina ho ne wo kan ne de ope otumfo di do okofa be frɛ mu ono okohe
nti abusua no madi kan ne na kasa mpo no enu ni o
Kofi Adoma ni na apai akora no so ye ba oyebunu ni ye ba ne.
You see that same statement say na mitutuo no on tutuo no something similar and a soft selifu amuako after send a bad boy no edeka akobo obi ka mu ankora mienu wu firim no na fi the heat equals of ne busua so no similar statement na soft selifu amuako be make here so no ne bana accident happen ankora mienu afirim no ne bana antwituo anko ankoku nipa what you say na accident na aba something similar na happen wa haisen
na mentia tutuo
during the time no soft selifu amuako ye didi na time style bi. But when it comes to Dormaahene, untimi carry or your hene. Brother na Dormaahene kasano. Or senior to break of feeling no could be any propaganda. The anytime a bonophobe a DBN nice beautiful piano, no afraid ye, a mouth for PBB at the Babe Bata Sadiano.
there be a bonophobe bibi and the Monya Baba never the bibi abe.
Now let's break that down. What Ghana or even we say negative stories excel more than positive stories. That is the fact of life. Is that phenomenon is not exclusive to Dormaahene and Abunofo nko a esi wo baabia. Nti so ye bibi na say positive setting, na say negative ba ko pe ba befra. Na one find a better way to resolve that negative na ba befra na. Abusia that will be the story a better trendy. That is life. Because for example, Dormaahene Festival, everything considered, is one of the most beautiful festivals Abusia wa Ghana. It was a very nice and a successful event. With few little problems. One of the biggest problems being say you shoot to block Kofi e won anim. What Ghana, you nim send a negative stories a trendy fa. And I would Dormaahene kura de what Ghana no. Wudi nya manfo binum de. Enu nyina ka ho na block Kofi na na blame truba kan say memma ye mfa asem no ma even online and I say baby a yen keep ne kam na nwie na fashion no. Now, if everything is said and done, at least an more so to no obetu because a fashion my a fashion a kama what I say and being a chief for 25 years no I be a substantial. Until it's a story we saying Basebra Kofi bar fashion no bibi tisi aba beto no and mu na that will be the story a man for a can was him. Dear man and Adoma in penny for time. Beko we actually no Uncle Banessa 1 month down the line and son and a video no nothing. And then even 3 months now, still nothing. Until assembly Babu and Teno. Guess what people are talking about now? Black Kofi assembly, not to festival awaya FNO. Because say time and I say take the resolve of the negative story properly Went to me and yes sir. Until what this case Nana, any dear kwanzo awana waye. Until men family show for and propaganda be a kosu baby. None of that.
You want me to be or so no. All I can say is
Mekaya called Dormaahene we sing. There was a time I think the bloggers been doing videos be on posting online and now I started getting traction online. Say Dormaahene Festival no kura nipa ma. That was not the truth. Nipa ba ya ankasa. So at that point no one was actually disproving Sadia because at the end of the day people would just insult. It is what it is. Then time no na Black Kofi back to Accra. He had to actually post a video disproving that notion say Dormaahene Festival ni pama. He just said in so many people now share effort to nipa put in and all these things Now say what to enia. Black Kofi yes he couldn't even see properly. A draw near the good and so no blame when he like based on how I now explain normal. You can't even read stuff properly. But throughout that pin, he posted that video. And what happened? That fake trend and now come out for a pie asset agenda. Be say, Dormaahene Festival no grany pie man. It killed that trend. Why ye weighing now because of Dormaahene? Because he understands the job.
propaganda. The other coming in a friend.
Would I am for the same Dormaahene press conference you be making? You see what that press conference na say essential mu na happen Me sure so can sem bebre. What you say? Min nim kra de otoko abagalam say ne ha we ha yonsuo ne yensase. But after the whole press conference was said and done, in some more kind mu ne he na trendy. The fact say was Black Kofi ni ya shoot no wa himfie nim no kure bi anim wunu ntutuo otumfo etugalam say the whole thing ni nyina propaganda no na sele. No na ekoso. Nti say we nyina na say o sentwa ho beka say time abonofo be ya de bi positive bia no amanfo hye da pe negative story bi e de bebe attach a nana eni die kwan so a we wa na oye
propaganda the other coming in a friend.
Sabi nyame na mba be kire na Dormaahene nyansa ba o press conference na so dan kotoko about the harmfulness of galamsey ne how a bia the new regional minister na ba no ahemfo wo bono beboa na ma na dwuma akoso a. Do you think Senka this will be how and can be treated that whole Shiamuno? And yet, a no mum near Sama and Kaman for the Beko. Because if you don't provide people with negative stories, or be the negative story, babyano, people can easily disprove that. Why wash a prison break, pain beer, or kai tea bag, Theodore tea bag, bagwell, no. Or make it call to be a show no man say. We are captives of our own identities, living in prisons of our own creation. And not try to say, normal be or what. Now a little bit of a tangent. Prior to this, Nana Dormaahene in the press conference, no video be about Bontia or Tumfue Casase. Fear prehene nchra hene ne ahemfu binu wo wa. This year your baby pejo to the position of Dormaahene. Nana Dormaahene ka ho asem de otumfo se so tim yesa fear pre Dormaahene ne omo keka ho ni bia. Na konwa wote so as Bono Regional House of Chief President no ono kro be sori afiri so.
Oka fear pre. Anka fear pre. Fear pre for be benjira for me de otumfo Asantehena. Na otimi yesa ni pa we Dormaahene. Abra menha na se be fa. Wa me sori ma konwa na Bono for be de ma.
You see, I bring this up because me a concerned citizen of Bono. Time Nana Dormaahene de otumfo that way no. Amanfo afa sasem no eno muti gina so edi abono fo atem. You see what Bono no hu ye wa ahemfo akese ahemafo mpanimfo esikafo adefo nimdiafo omufiri Bono sa amanfo no binom edi atem no abusua omudi abonofo nyina atem. Not just specific to nipa ebia wakoka asem ebia sasem ne ho ahinti na nipa ne reba bidi atem ba so odi atem na odi mpanimfo wo Bono nyina atem denti ese basa. You see, me personally, I'm not a fan of say we video say purposefully no did for them. That's part of the reason why a channel we saying so you will never see that. Because to me, it's not necessary. Mpenimfu a yesu omwana mo no. Nye sa no mo ye no. Nti di enti ese mi mo me ba ye nsa. Obi o wa ne de no no. Metenase that is that person no. But me personally no. Me that is not my policy. What you say? Be no no nkyere say wo ba be kan sem bi na enye nokore anase bibi nto ye a. Abusia ye nka ho asem ye beka ho asem ankasa nokore no ye beka ne pepepe ama manfo we say ni nete e na nokore in this ne say ne Nana Dormaahene ye no enya ahemfo wo Bono nyina na support e na nya even ni kuro ma Dormaafo nyina na di nachi oti ase ye wo wi ase enti ma say 100% of people any john da bida enti se sebi Nana Dormaahene beka bibi na nko obi square abusia that no is specific to Nana Dormaahene enya abonofo nyina ena se wa study otumfo a wa ye ne ho action man se ne hene a omo wona se bi kokosisi normal people a omo wa saa e bi abono no so oba bi na so mu twi nipa ni di wa asase ho kora na obehu ane se ekoso 1 2 na wa frɛ hene na watu na de so ye hu se hene bi ye galamsey wa Asante region ba bi na wa frɛ saa hene koro no na watu na de so se wo ka se ontimi nye bibi a na wa ye yesi ontimi nsi nkranza hene wasi yesi asumenya hene ontimi nsi wasi brekum hene ye yesi ontimi ma obaye nkranza hema ye yesi ontimi ma obaye ade a wo beka kire ne se ontimi nye no saa de no ye eno kora no dika ye ne first what you say nti se ye na ontimi nye we ya ye di hu agora otumfo beje Bono asase ni nyina because before no not once na beka se Bono ne asase eno ne ye history right now we care about now. Before now, they say Bono ni Asantehena. Menteme ho ase de wo ho, but not to this level. And ne hwe ne ekoso a asefem. Na ye me ya ba ko ne say Mr. Abiam kwa ahemfo mpanimfo akese we ho. Nana Dormaahene ko ho say o nana say ni pese asumdwe ba. Nana say o me nka hwe biem. Kwatechi man hene ho ko otumfo ho omu nyina ate ase asumdwe mra. And then Mr. Abiam fair press conference. Afei de or the two dwa from amanfo from all the sides bobai. Kanze okay or nempanimfo we no nyina kasa o mate ase say obi a wodi obi atembia no obi anyai na hu hia biem. After that press conference a whole lot of people stopped and need 2 months we are back to square one step forward 2 steps back
na mentia tutuo
ni atobra Kofi no ono ankasa kan say we on we man west enemy na da o te say ni onu no go through nyina no ne yawo namu ni ne asi nyina no na Dormaahene from onu ananum say propaganda na no kure bi anim no you can imagine how he felt
propaganda. If that
if that came from any other person bia to some extent no ka beti ase because sankrofo majority of them nyanyansa no mode kasa. But this came from Dormaahene or tena manfo nsem so e woni kurom. And not just that, Santi Ghana for binom asem as a high court judge. The final question is say, sa same way say no, say Dormaahene involved in any way, and anke e bia ni kurom manipi, and a to no nanka asem na ba beturu nanim. Or even better yet, ka asem no I end up on the courtroom. Nko begyina so aka say propaganda na. Yemfa video ni nsia. Thanks for watching.
Well, Professor, in some interim is a dawanim is efa enono.